Hello, everybody, and welcome to another Vintage Cube Draft. Today, we have a special guest, Greg, also known as Ants on a Log. You may have lost to him in the past. He's actually a Pro Tour veteran.
Yep, I went to Dublin once upon a time. Only went to one pro tour though.
More than me, I have zero. So, with our combined intellect, a trophy is all but guaranteed. Well, what are you thinking out of this pack, Greg?
Well, Ben, I really like blue cards.
As do I.
I used to play blue-white Sphinx's Revelation, so I think in honor of that, I would probably be leaning towards Tundra in this pack.
Yeah, I think it's basically Tundra or Volcanic Island, and that's more a matter of preference than anything else. There's more blue-red combo decks, but we're also passing a Braid and Deceiver Exarch, and we're not really passing any good white cards, so I think Tundra seems like a great place to be.
Excellent.
I'm a blue-white aficionado as well. Okay, a lot of different directions we could go here. What stands out to you?
Yeah. So I like the Underground Sea. I do like getting my mana fixing. I love playing Esper. That's pretty good. I also like having good threats in my blue-white decks, like Gideon looks pretty good to me, and then I also like the Glen. So those would be like what I would probably be thinking about. But I think you might be committing to blue-white less quickly than I would be. So what do you like here?
I don't think we need to take Gideon this early. That's a card that I
Yeah.
like to see come around, and it does somewhat often, especially since the white aggro player will take Esper Sentinel. I think Glen or Underground Sea are both very reasonable pickups here. But like you, I think having good mana is pretty important. So I kind of like taking the Underground Sea here.
Great, yeah, let's grab the C.
Okay. Well, we got a gold card in the color scheme that we just took a land in. So the Scarab God is an option. If we wanted to keep on adding colors, we could take Plateau, but I don't know if we need to do that this early.
Yeah, I don't think we need to add another color. I do think that the Scarab God is probably the pick here. I often feel like I'm underwhelmed by the Scarab God. Like, he is fine, but I just don't know, like, how good... I don't know. To me, this card, I don't know if I, like, love it in Vintage Cube. I really like Thieving Skydiver, actually, but... that might not be. I think Scarab God is probably going to fit better with what we're trying to do, but that's more a comment. I've been surprised.
Yeah.
I don't like this card more.
I think that's fair. It's very powerful in the super late game, but it's slow. Like 5 mana, 5/5, and it's very vulnerable to some exile based removal and whatnot. But I think it's still probably the pick. It also just helps to cut blue black. Okay. Uro is good, but we don't have any green mana at the moment. We also just
Yeah.
passed Leovold.
Where do you rank sweepers? Like I like Dam, but I think in general I'd probably take like a Brainstorm or a Spell Pierce over Dam since we've got like 2 blue lands.
Yeah, I think I generally agree. Having one board sweeper is pretty valuable in my opinion. But if we're playing black and white, that gives us access a ton. We could get Damnation, Wrath of God, Day of Judgment, Toxic Deluge, Dam could come around. So I don't think we need to spend a pick this early on it.
And I think Spell Pierce over Brainstorm.
Yeah, I agree. Spell Pierce is really good, cheap interaction, and we passed Glen Elendra already.
True. Good point.
Okay, so blue is looking kind of cut. Or maybe just this pack. I guess there was 2 solid blue cards in the last pack. I definitely don't think we abandoned blue, but we might not be able to be, like, we might be base black-white splashing blue. That's a possibility.
Yeah, that makes sense. So in this pack, I mean, I think the Blood Chief's Thirst oftentimes comes around really late, so I feel like wasting a pick this early on it is not my first choice, but I do like that. I don't know. Do you like Bitter Blossom at all, or not really that much?
It depends on the deck. I like it in more aggressive deck. Like, I think it can be good if you're playing, like, Lurrus. I've had a pretty sweet black-white deck with, like, Skull Clamp, Bitter Blossom, and Lurrus. It can be good there, but in control, I think I'd rather take the Blood Chief's Thirst here.
Sweet.
Very good interaction. I love things that kill Planeswalkers.
Reading Pool and Murktide Regent are both fine. I mean, I might take the Breeding Pool.
Yeah, I think seeing a Breeding Pool that late is a bit of a sign. There's also 2 good green cards. We're not going to pivot to mono green, I think, from the start, but like there's a world where Uro or Leovold comes around, and it's pretty nice to have that. And now we see more green fixing.
Wow. So do you usually see Bayous this late in the draft?
No, I would say no. That's like not a super high pickup as far as the lands go, but a dual land this late is definitely a sign, especially after that breeding pool last pick. Ledger Shredder is decent, but this isn't really the deck for it.
Yeah.
You want to have more cantrips and stuff. If we'd taken Brainstorm, we could maybe take Ledger Shredder. But yeah, I think I like taking the Bayou.
Excellent.
I think green is probably the most open color. So yeah, having outs to be able to play, like if we get Maelstrom Pulse or something, that'd be good here.
Would you ever take Thespian Stage, or is it? Do you think it's too early, or like we don't have any of the payoff cards yet?
I've made one successful. Oh wow, there's the Vampire Hexmage. If we had gone that route, I think that's a way you can go. It's not great in my opinion. There's just so many ways to deal with it efficiently. Like Repeal, just wreck your 2-card combo for 1 mana and draws a card. But it's an option.
So, I don't love any of these cards. I mean, Temple Garden would be fine, although we don't have any white cards yet. So, like, I don't know.
I think we just take.
Hierarch.
I actually love Hexdrinker, to be honest.
Oh, yeah.
I found that it's like weirdly good. Sometimes it just is, it just trades with our 1-drop and that's fine. But it can just win the game on its own. Anytime there's a card that you can win where that's the only spell you cast all game, that is a real consideration. It's like Fractured Identity, Bribery, and Hexdrinker are pretty much the only 3 cards like that.
What do you think of I mean, my pick probably would be Ravenous Chupacabra here.
I think I like the Choop. Toski is okay, but it's a little bit, like, it's kind of underwhelming unless you're very heavy on the creatures. Like, we could just pivot and try and become a creature deck, but I think I like the idea of being sort of, I mean, we're Sultai right now. We got the Tundra early, but we haven't seen that much white. But yeah, having good removal on a body seems solid.
Gideon came around just like you said.
Yep. But honestly, I kind of like taking Utopia Sprawl here.
Oh, interesting.
It's fixing, it's ramp. I think green is the open lane. I know that you love all your blue cards and blue-white and whatnot, but I think, like, I don't like mono green as a deck, but I really like using green to enable powerful top end from other colors. Oh, Leovold came around. That's the latest I've ever seen that card go. Okay.
Easy Leovold, right?
Yeah. Great pivot into green. I think Uro is in the next pack. If that came around, that'd be amazing, but no such luck. But yeah, I mean, it's good that we're playing green.
Yep. Yeah. So probably just Garruk.
Yeah. I pronounced him Garrick, but either way, good card.
All right. I don't think we're probably going to play any of these cards. Maybe just the Prowler, just as like a possible reanimation deck.
Blue Marsh is good. We're black-green.
Yeah, brilliant.
So we'll see if we play white or not. We have the 1 Tundra. We could splash a Fractured Identity or something, but we're just like solidly in Sultai right now, and that's a good place to be. Oh man, this is a lot of good stuff here.
A lot of good stuff here for us.
I mean, we probably gotta take the Mox.
Yeah.
But like Reman, Preordain, and Ashiok would all 3 be cards that we'd be thrilled to pick up. And our plan is to wheel Witherbloom Command. That's a nice one that I can't imagine anyone else taking that. But it really sucks to lose the Ashiok. That is one of the best cheap threats for this deck, and especially if you're playing green. If you're like Ashiok decks with green are insane because you can drop it on turn 2. If you're on the play, you play Ashiok plus a 5 loyalty immediately. They only have 1 land in play. Like the game kind of ends there.
I don't know if if we're gonna have enough like base blue lands. We already have Bayou and Blooming Marsh to be able to effectively play Counterspell. It is a very good card though.
Yeah. The other option is Hydroid Krasis, but I think the Krasis might come around since we got a lot of really late, like Breeding Pool's late. I guess someone did take Uro. But I think I like taking the Counterspell here. Yeah, we're a little bit light on blue right now, but I think we're going to get a lot of blue this pack because blue is cut to by the player to our right. So I think the players to our left are not playing blue, and we might be able to pick up like some solid counter magic and card draw. Oh, do we have outs to play red? No, we don't. Expressive Iteration is so good. I have a couple thoughts, but what are you thinking?
Good question. I mean, I think that I love Oracle as a card. I just really enjoy playing lands off the top of my deck.
Yeah, very satisfying.
Very satisfying. I don't know if it's necessarily the best card here for us. Might take the Waterlogged Grove.
Yeah, I think that's a disciplined pick. Strip Mine's high upside. We did get a late Elvish Reclaimer. But we're not in red, so we can't play Ren in 6. Yeah, I think I like the Waterlogged Grove. Suspicious Stowaway and Trinket Mage are both okay. Probably, though, I think Oracle is the second best card. But yeah, I like taking the Grove, and then we'll probably wheel one of the 4 blue cards that we could play here. Should we go for the Niv?
The Niv. We don't have a lot of gold cards just yet.
Yeah, I think it's probably not the move.
But I mean, Signets, I think that you like Signets quite a bit, right?
I do, yeah, especially if they're double on color. It's bad with Counterspell, but...
Yeah, I do like Brazen Borrower quite a bit.
I do too. And Dismember is also a good spot removal. But I think I'd still lean towards the Signet here.
Yeah, I think...
We do need a bit of card draw. That's something that we are pretty much just lacking right now, but we have a while to find it. So here it's an interesting... So Garruk is just a solid card. And Maelstrom Pulse is good removal, although I think that will come around. Could take Animate Dead, but Echo of Eons is kind of interesting. I just think we don't have card draw. We have some acceleration, and we have Leovold. And Leovold plus Echo is really, really good. It's kind of going a little bit deep. We also just passed Entomb, but Entomb Echo of Eons is a nice combo as well.
Interesting. I mean, I would be down to speculate on the Echo. I think if it were just me drafting, I'd probably take the Garruk or the Garuk, depending on how you say it. But I'd be down to speculate on the Echo. What do you think? I leave this pick to you.
For it. The fact that we have no card draw is important. Like, we need card draw to be able to win games, like, unless we're going to be fast, which we're not really going to be. It may not get there, but it's at least, I think it's worth a shot.
Only 4 creatures makes Charter Course less desirable.
True.
Arbor Elf is decent ramp, but we don't have a huge number of forests. We have Bayou and Breeding Pool. No fetches yet.
Yeah. I think I like just taking the Charter Course here.
Charter Course, okay.
Arbor Elf is definitely a reasonable option, but it's really important to have good card draw. Just adds so much consistency to the deck. So here's a Hallowed Fountain if we want to keep the White Splash open, but we already have a Tundra. Probably not necessary.
Yeah, I mean, I think Snuff Out looks pretty decent to me here. I like that card. I mean, the 4 life is definitely a cost, but I think it's a pretty good card. We don't have that much spot removal yet.
Yeah, that seems good. And we also don't have a Painful Mana base, which makes the 4 life a little bit less bad. Okay, a lot of white lands here.
A lot of white lands for sure. I like Shriekmaw as a card. I don't really see anything else in here that I would really want to play.
Yeah, I like getting the Shriekmaw. It also plays really well with the Scarab God. Like making a 4/4 with Fear is definitely a way to win. Okay, nice. Where the Bloom Command came around. This could be... Well, Doubt Voidwalker's good, and we also could maybe get there with Field of the Dead, but I think the command is just the pick. It kills Moxen, it kills small creatures, it gains life, it finds land, just a solid card.
Sweet. I feel like this is a card that I overlook pretty frequently.
Yeah, it's easy to do, but I think it's good when it's good.
I mean, I don't think we're going to play anything here. Do you?
Probably not. Like, Whisperwood Elemental is a solid mid-range threat. Honestly, I kind of like taking Kroxa, though, speculatively. We might not play it, but we didn't take Uro, and having a UA to use your graveyard I think is pretty valuable. So I think I like speculating on that, and then if we get some red fixing in pack 3, we can play it. If not, we're not missing out on much.
Oh, the Suspicious Stowaway came back around, so probably just grab that.
Yeah, I like that card a lot. It's pretty easy to flip, actually. I think of it as a looter, but then it can just be pure card advantage more frequently than you'd think.
And we get that Niv, so...
But, well... No, I mean, I think the correct pick is probably Horizon Canopy. Yeah, like the thing is, we both don't have the lands for Niv, and we don't have the cards to hit with it. If this was pack 1, we could maybe go for it, but yeah, I think that's probably the right pick. Nice, Pulse on the wheel.
That's great. Love to see it.
I guess the black card, yeah.
Signal that white is open to
Yeah.
our player.
All right, so let's take stock now. What do we still need? We have pretty good removal. We have reasonable card draw. A little bit more card draw would be good. Also, just like some more good threats. So like Ashiok didn't come around. Garrick and Scarab God, Leavold can like kind of close out the game, but yeah, whether that is like either Liliana would go a long way. Just like sort of 3 to 5 mana planeswalkers that are good on their own, I think is the main thing we want here.
Yeah, totally agree.
Narset would be kind of interesting to double down on the Echo of Eons. You don't need win conditions if you just make them concede. And then more acceleration would obviously be good, like Moxen. You want a Mox Sapphire next pack?
I'll take a Mox Sapphire next pack. But would you rather have Mox Sapphire, Time Walk, or Ancestral Recall?
I think Ancestral in this deck.
Yeah.
It's kind of close, but we don't have any ways to recur Time Walk. We don't have like Snapcaster Mage. And we have like the card draws just Chart of Course Echo. Yeah, let's get Ancestral.
Yeah, I think Ancestral.
I definitely think this is a good start though. This is if the draft ended now, we wouldn't be in great shape, but we don't need that many more pieces for this to be a very solid deck.
Yeah, we're at 18 pretty decent playables.
I'd say beyond decent. Honestly, none of these cards I want to cut at all. Yeah.
I do like Time Warp as a card. Consecrated Sphinx is great. I don't know if I'm a little unsure of like what the best decks for Consecrated Sphinx are.
Well, deck would remove for Consecrated Sphinx, and we do have those. Library is also a card with high upside.
Yeah.
And then Mystical Tutor is interesting. That like, there's a world where we built around that more. We saw Lion's Eye Diamond at one point, like Lion's Eye Diamond, Mystical Tutor, Echo of Eons, Leavold. Like you can sort of go deep in that direction. But given that we don't have, like I think Tutor, we don't have any great targets other than the Echo. So I think I would lean towards just taking the Consecrated Sphinx here.
Okay.
I think this is a pretty good deck for it.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
And again, like, since we do have some decent ramp with Golgari Signet and Utopia Sprawl, Garrick, that makes, and I guess the Mox, that makes a 6-drop much more castable than it would be in like a normal blue deck.
Yeah, great point. Yeah, Consecrated Sphinx, good card.
Oh my gosh! Time Walk and Oko in the same pack.
How are we getting past a Time Walk?
Yeah, that is crazy. That must mean that this is the second pick? Yeah, wow, that's wild.
So, I mean, it's got to be Time Walk, right?
Yeah.
We're taking that over Oko.
I think Oko is like maybe arguably better than a Mox here, like an off-color Mox.
Interesting.
It's like very, very strong, and there's no way it comes around, but yeah, I don't think we can pass Time Walk. My favorite play in this deck would be Garrick, untap 2 lands, Time Walk, and you take a new turn with your Garrick already in play. Great pickup. So that's not going to totally change our pick order, but something like Eternal Witness will go up a bit in value. You can like bring back Time Walk and then later make a 4/4 Witness for the Scarab God and bring back Time Walk again.
Yeah, great point. Yeah, I think that thinking about like which individual cards make other ones more valuable is something you do super well when I watch your draft videos.
Thank you. I do like at this point. The Scarab God is our main win condition, so I think it is very relevant to think like our plan is to get that into play. I know you said you don't like the Scarab God, so hopefully you don't hate our plan, but I think that's where we're at.
I don't dislike it. I mean, Shark Typhoon, that's another card that can be, well, not quite a win condition. I mean, just cycling it to create a big flying shark, in a deck with a lot of disruption and removal can be enough to close out a game.
Yeah, for sure. It's that versus the Signet.
Yeah.
And that's a very close pick.
Which of them is more likely to wheel?
Good question. I don't think Shark Typhoon will. I think Shark Typhoon is like 10%, Signet's like 30%. It would be my ballpark estimates.
To me, I kind of think that our deck likes Shark Typhoon more.
Yeah, I think I'm generally in agreement. Yeah, we do want a little bit more top end. We have a lot of plays at 2 mana already.
To me, Shark Typhoon feels harder to replace than the Signet.
Yeah, I think that's true.
And then cycling a card can help smooth out our draws a little bit, and we're somewhat light on card draw, although we're not super light.
Yeah, we're getting there. We were light originally, but we made some moves. Ooh, this is interesting. Can we do Golos? We have Tundra that's basically free. We could just play that. So we don't have any red mana. So we would need to find one good red land that doesn't ruin our mana base to make that work. Seems like the other main option, like Hymn to Torok is really good if we have the mana for it, but I don't know if we do.
Yeah, I don't think we do.
Kodama's Reach would help the mana fixing. And then Drag Tusk is fine. I think it's between Golos and Kodama's Reach here.
Agreed. We're a little light on 3 drops, which does make me like the Reach a bit more.
Yeah.
But we're also light on win conditions, which makes me like Golos a little bit more too. I think I would probably lean towards the Reach and just keep it like simpler.
I think that makes sense. Since we just also took Sphinx or Shark Typhoon over the Signet, now we take the ramp. I think that makes sense. So we have Arcane Proxy, which can flashback Time Walk. It's also just kind of a bad card, though. Other than that, you need it just takes a lot of setup. Probably Vraska.
Yeah, I like Vraska. What about the Lich? Do you ever take that over Vraska? I mean, I think I like Vraska more, but like, what would be going through your head to make you want to take this over Vraska?
I love the Lich if you have a lot of ways to maintain the monarchy. So, like, Baleful Strix is really good with that card. If you have flyers and more instant speed spot removal, I think we'd be fine at playing the Monarch game. But, like, it would be pretty bad against any aggressive deck, and we have no sweepers, so that's a matchup I'm a bit worried about. So I think I like taking the Vraska here.
Sweet, let's take Vraska.
Ooh, I complained about not having a sweeper.
And here we go, Damnation.
I honestly think that's one of the best things we could possibly get here. We have some spot removal, but we're gonna struggle against fast aggressive decks, and this is a perfect way to hedge that matchup.
Yeah, if Damnation weren't in this pack, what would we want? Like, would we take the elves?
Yeah, probably the elf. Not as good as a ramp that adds other colors, but it's not bad.
Yeah, and if we'd gotten the Strip Mine, then like the Excavator would be better too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Damnation, totally the pick. Fatal Push, not terrible.
Yeah, it's better when you have fetch lands, but it's still just like a solid card on its own.
I don't hate Karn either, in general.
Yeah.
But
we don't want to become too heavy at 4. Let's also we have currently 10 or we already have all the spells we need. So we don't need like medium cards. We need cards that would like really help in certain matchups. I think I like taking a push, but potentially not even main decking it. But I think it will really help against control or against aggro. And I think Karn is like decent, but we already have a lot of 4s. Like that's just not as necessary.
Yeah, great point.
Super late Tinker. Wow. So if Golos came around, Rogran Triumph would be kind of interesting, but we're not playing red or white, so that makes it worse. I think it's between Relic and Night's Whisper.
Yeah. So Relic is a better sideboard card, and then Night's Whisper is more of a main deck card.
Yeah.
So I guess, how do we think we're doing against graveyard-based decks? I mean, I wouldn't hate...
I think I like the Relic here, actually, because we don't have much counter magic, which is what you need against graveyard decks. Like, Reanimator would be a tough matchup now. That helps a lot. I don't think we're an Oath deck, although... We could, actually... So the Oath would be a really good sideboard card against aggressive decks. Woe Strider is just a way to use the graveyard, which we don't really have yet. But I think I like taking the Oath here. I think this is a fairly straightforward pick.
Nurturing Peatland?
Yeah, I think that's a great pickup. Our mana's honestly kind of bad, our fixing, so that helps.
Yeah, we got a lot of really easy mana picks in the first pack, and since then I don't think we've seen a fetch land.
Yeah, that's crazy. I actually literally think we haven't seen one all draft.
I mean, don't think this really matters, but...
Sure, Cabal Ritual. None of those are making this deck.
Him?
Yeah, I think we pick him.
Maybe?
Yeah. And then we'll see how the mana looks in the end. And at the very least, it'll be a good card to bring in against Storm or something.
Probably not playing Gush, I don't think.
Yeah. All right, not getting the super late packs, but we already have more cards than we need. So now we need to make some cuts. First of all, we need to decide how many lands we want to play. We have a Mox, but we also are kind of mana hungry, so I think we still want 17 lands.
Totally agreed. I'll let you take over the mana base counting since that's
All right.
one of the things I enjoy the least.
Fair enough. Well, before we decide that, though, we need to make our last two cuts. So, a couple things to look at. First, we have our removal, Bloodchief's Thirst, Maelstrom Pulse, Witherbloom Command, Snuff Out, Damnation, Ravenous Chupacabra, Shriekmaw. We could move Damnation to the board, since we have a reasonable amount of spot removal.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think that that would make sense to me. And then the other card that I would be potentially wanting to move to the board would be Suspicious Stowaway. And the reason that I'd be thinking about that is because basically all of our other creatures come in, like, we are pretty bad removal targets.
Yeah.
So like, they kill the Ravenous Chupacabra, who cares? They just kill a 2/2. The Scarab God, we're sad to see that die, but Shriekmaw. Yeah. Whereas like Suspicious Stowaway gives our opponent a way to turn on bolts and others like spells.
Yeah, that's fair. Our pizza just arrived, so looking forward to that after we finish the main deck. All right, so Suspicious Stowaway. I think that's that's a good consideration. Like, cards like Suspicious Stowaway are better when their removal is already live. So if you're playing like Ragavan, Dragon's Rage Channeler, stuff like that, then Stowaway is much better. I think the other consideration is him if the mana doesn't allow for it. So now let's turn to the colors of the mana base. So we're base blue, good place to be. 10 blue cards. I guess 10 black cards too. So very even there. And then 8 green. So fairly even across all of them. Let's start with this, just 3/3 makes sense. So this gives us 4, 5, 6, 7 black choices. We definitely need more than that, and we can't play him if we only have 7.
Yeah.
For blue, that's 2, 5, 6. Ooh, this mana base might be worse than I thought. I think we can cut some of the green sources though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so I think we can cut 2 forests, add 1 more island and swamp. And that's still only 8 of each, I think. Is that right? 6, 7, 8 black. 1, 2, 6, 7 blue.
Yeah, we're probably going to want to be cutting that him.
Counterspell is also kind of tough.
Yeah.
But Counterspell is a fine card to play late game, whereas him you really want to be playing somewhat early. Like, if it's him is a much worse top deck.
Would we rather play? I think we're definitely cutting him.
Yeah.
As our.
And then we could just add 1 more island as the 17th land.
Yes, I like that.
And in general, I think erring on the side of more blue is usually a good default. But we have a great sideboard. Like against aggro, we can bring in Damnation, Fatal Push. Against Control, and also Oath. Against combo, we can bring in Relic. Against Control, we can bring in him. Seems like a pretty solid set of sideboard options.
Definitely a better set of sideboard options than I normally have in my Thieves decks.
Yeah, normally you just force mono blue and like all your sideboard is white aggro cards. All right, well this is our Sultai deck. I think it's pretty sweet. We'll see you in round 1. All right, here we are for round 1. As you may see, our images are removed. We didn't want to block too much of the board. And Greg is a bit of a stickler for the stops, so he'll be throwing all the stops on. I do not recommend you try this at home. You will time out, but Greg is a beast.
Thank you, Ben. I put in a lot of time as a blue-white control mage back in the Sphinx's Revelation days.
All right.
This is a key.
Good. Yep. We have all our colors. One thing that Greg and I just noted while looking at the deck is we have 3 of the lands that sacrifice. So we might want to cut Horizon Canopy if we play against aggressive decks. But I do think having access to a lot of like that sort of effect gives you so much consistency against Mana Flood in the late game. Okay. Signet's fine. You don't think we play Charter Course here?
It's a good question. Yeah, I guess we don't really have much else to do. But like, I don't know. We're not super happy to we'd probably be discarding lands if we draw 1 more. I guess we can play Charter Course.
I think I like the plan of probably discarding Swamp. Ooh.
I mean, we don't have a forest for Utopia.
Yeah, probably Utopia Sprawl. Because it's the kind of card that doesn't scale well. It's not one that we want to be playing in the late game. So this is a kind of key turn. I guess we have Maelstrom Pulse to deal with most things, but the Spell Pierce Shield will be up starting next turn.
Yeah, we'd love a second green source.
Yes, we would. Trinket Mage, okay, that's fine. We'll see what they're getting. Soul Ring would be a little annoying, but not that bad. We can kill it. Enter Dividing Cup. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, the top is really...
Ooh.
Ooh, that seems like we just play Leovold here.
Yeah, that seems great. Now we just gotta find Echo Vions.
And get it into a graveyard.
Yeah. It would be nice to have a bit of self-mill in this deck for that reason. Like Grist would be kind of sweet.
Very true, very true. So we can play Maelstrom Pulse with Spell Pierce up, which is nice.
Yeah.
Um,
And then Green Source would be good for Garruk, and then most things we draw off the top we could play. How often do you actually need to stop in like your own end combat phase?
well, okay, great question. The reason I have all the stops on is just I like to always play with the stops, with all stops, just to make sure that I don't miss something by accident.
Yeah.
And then since I have the hotkeys set up, like I don't personally find it to be a huge hindrance. So I just like to have them all on, and then I'm not gonna like flick through something by accident. I just found that like by knowing how many clicks there were in a turn, every turn, it just like feels very natural to me.
Yeah, that makes sense. You can get in a rhythm.
Yeah. Opponent lost connection.
Oh. Wait, 8? No, that's... We'll do this one. We're going to pause. We'll be back in a second. Our opponent just scooped a Leovold. They are terrified. Who can blame them? Bit of an anticlimactic first round, but we're 1-0. I'll see you in round 2. All right, here we are for round 2. We're on the draw against Alpinium. Alpinum? Seems like a good hand.
Yeah.
So we're going to need to shock and Breeding Pool if we want to play Sprawl on turn 1. Probably fine. Ooh, Goblin Welder. Not a card you see that often. Okay, what color do we name here?
Probably... I don't know if it matters.
Probably doesn't matter too much. I'm leaning towards blue. We have 3 black already. We only have 2 green. The Scarab God also makes us... Like, we have Counterspell and Spell Pierce. I think... And we don't... I don't think we'll ever really be in a spot where we need, like, 3 green in a turn.
Yeah, good call, good call.
Alright, they're bringing the beats. Unclear if they're a red-white aggro or some sort of more mid-rangey deck.
I think we just play the reach here. I don't think we hold up the Pierce.
I don't actually agree. Well, I guess we could play Scarab God next turn. Yeah.
But
well,
I guess Scarab God isn't even that good. It's just a 5/5 right now.
I mean, that is a 4-turn clock. Like,
Yeah.
turn 3, 5/5 is actually kind of legit if they don't have a way to exile it. The question is, are we afraid of anything they could play here? Like, most of the red-white planeswalkers cost 4. They could go, like, Mox, Chandra. I think we play the Reach, actually. Does that seem reasonable to you?
Yeah, I like playing the reach here. I mean, we also could just play a turn behind and like hold up Spell Pierce this turn, and then and what do we want to get? Probably just Island Forest.
Sure.
Put the
Island in play.
yeah.
The thing is, we don't have, like, this isn't really a hand that wants to play Drago. Like, we don't have a bunch of card draw. We don't have a bunch of things to do with our mana. We have those things in our deck. Okay, against this, we're definitely happy that we did what we did. Now, do we jam the Scarab God?
It's a good question. I mean, we'd be jamming into open mana. Swords to Plowshares would remove it, but that's all.
And they could also mana tithe it.
Mana Tithe. I'd honestly be down to just play the Golgari Signet. I mean, you were talking about the Planeswalkers coming down on 4.
Yeah.
Play Signet, hold up Spell Pierce.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
Cool.
And now, we don't have a ton of gas in our hand, but we have, like, tons of mana, and so very live top decks. And also, like, typically when... It's sort of funny that we have the whole color pie here, but red-white's bad against
Let this
Sultai.
happen.
Yeah, we could Spell Pierce, but no need. We have plenty of mana.
And I was not discussing it just because I didn't want to telegraph that we have Spell Pierce.
Interesting.
Okay.
That's fine.
Resolves, nothing we can do. And then are we just going to play Scarab God?
I think so. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
so. Definitely some mana flood. We've drawn, the only spell we've drawn was more mana, but that's fine. We also have this Nurture and Repeat line, which we can cycle, and 2 other lands that we could top deck into are also cyclable. Alright, this is kind of a key turn of the game. If they just pass back, that if they don't do something relevant this turn, I think we're very ahead. But they do have this Goblin Welder in play, which could do some shenanigans. Like if they have a way to put like Sundering Titan into the graveyard, the game just ends. Okay, that's fine. This is why the Scarab God is kind of solid. Like there's a card advantage for us. We get to replay it next turn. Ooh, interesting.
Interesting. Well, we're not going to be able to hold up Spell Pierce if we play Scarab God, because both are costing 1 more.
And the Shark would be a 5/5, so it would trade with the Lodestone this turn. Next turn it could just kill it outright.
Feels like we probably should play Scarab God this turn.
Yeah, I think I agree. Especially since they killed that last turn. They clearly don't have a way to exile it. Oh, we're also at 9. I didn't realize how low we were.
Yeah.
Wait, how did that even happen? I guess they hit us for six that turn.
We shocked on the Breeding Pool.
And then a couple of random Welder beats. But that is actually scary. We're playing against a red deck which could have burn, so we need to be very conscious of our life total. I don't think we have any life gain in the main deck. We didn't get Uro, we didn't take Thrag Tusk.
Yeah, we don't have that destroy artifacts and create the 1/1s that gain you life.
Ooh, yeah, that'd be a good one. Alright, they just passed. That's great news. Now I think we're in a very dominant position.
Do we ever kill the Goblin Welder?
I honestly think that we should.
Yeah.
First of all, we can just bring it back as a 4/4 with a Scarab God, so it gives us more pressure. I kind of like just evoking.
Yeah, I like evoking
Yeah.
and then having to cycle.
It costs 1 more. That's fine.
Well, we can hold up Spell Pierce and just play it naturally, but then we don't have it in our graveyard.
No, I think we want it in our graveyard, and then our
Yeah.
plan is just to make a 4/4 Goblin Welder if they don't do anything, or if they do something, then we can kill that. The Shriekmaw is so good with the Scarab God.
Yeah, true.
You can like bring back what you kill with it. You can bring back the Shriekmaw. You can like choose if you want the 3/2 in play or the option in the graveyard.
And we could attack, but I think we should just probably just hang back because we've got gas with the Scarab God, and our life total is perhaps going to be under threat.
Yeah, like just the Lodestone is not a problem, but if they play like Hell Rider or something, then all of a sudden we could just die in a very winnable game. We can start attacking next turn.
Looks like our opponent is also flooding out a bit.
Yeah, but blue decks are better at handling mana flood than red-white. So I think, yeah, we do. Welder. The dude, actually, the Welder even could be a good interaction against them, potentially. Okay, so we're going to get to Scry. Wow, Sphinx.
We probably just want that.
Yeah. I think we draw it, but we don't play it this turn.
Yeah, agreed.
And I think we do just swing with both now. Because now we can have the option of making a Shark and a Scarab God token. So we still have 2 blockers back.
Sure. Okay.
And, like, we do want to close out the game. Like, I think the main thing we're worried about is, like, some combination of burn spells. So we give them just fewer draw steps. And if they block... Okay, they block the Scarab God. Do we want to make a Shriekmaw in response? Honestly, I think we just let this happen.
I agree.
Now they have no board presence. We can make a huge Shark. End of turn. So let's see. We could make it a 7/7. But we probably just don't pay the life and make it a 6/6 instead.
That resolves.
Pretty happy this Shark Typhoon is not a Signet.
Yes, let's go.
Do you agree with not paying the life here?
I think I do. It doesn't seem super relevant. It doesn't turn, like, you know, it's only 14 over 2 turns.
Yeah.
So 12 versus 14, not a big difference. We're going to probably kill Gideon.
Yeah, so we can do this and then jam the Scarab God again and make a Lodestone Golem if we want to. And then I think we just send the Welder at them too.
I agree. Although, are we throwing down the Sphinx?
No, I think we just play Scarab God again because it makes multiple bodies. We don't need card draw.
Okay, yeah, fair. And I think we play Underground Sea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Preserve that life total, baby. Every time you play against red, you got to do that. This might be a matchup where we cut Horizon Canopy for a forest. They haven't looked aggressive from this game, but I just have to think, like, if they're playing red and white, I mean, either their deck is just terrible or they have more aggressive draws than that. Those are basically the two options.
And if their deck is terrible, we'll probably beat them with a forest instead of Horizon Canopy, so...
Yeah, good point. So, do we want Damnation and or Fatal Push?
Great question. I mean, probably.
Yeah, we didn't see much there, but I think there's a good chance they have, like, Ragavan type cards. But then, of course, the question is, what do we cut? Probably Echo Vions. It's spicy, but I don't know if this is a matchup for it.
A bit too slow, perhaps.
Yeah.
And then, do we like Hex Drinker? Or Hex Drinker, Suspicious Stowaway.
I think those are probably the two main considerations. Yeah, Shriekmaw is probably good. They do have some artifact creatures, but I think it's still solid.
Yeah, I think I'd probably lean towards a Suspicious Stowaway. I think that Hex Drinker is probably a little bit better for us.
Yeah, I think I agree. All right, so game 2 of match 2. We're yet to drop a game, although slight asterisk there. I don't think we've done anything particularly overwhelming to any opponents. We have, I mean, our deck is capable of some pretty broken things. We could go turn 1 Island, Mox, Time Walk, turn 2 Leovold, and that's like basically turn 1 Leovold. Some decks just hard lose to that.
Yeah, that's a pretty nice opener. I'm trying to see if I can find anything better.
I guess we could go turn 1 Land, Mox, Signet, and then turn 2 4-drop.
All right, well, I think we're probably keeping this. I mean, we've got 3 lands, 4 spells, nice mix.
Yep, all our colors. Lots of removal if they are aggressive. Like, I'm not really afraid of a long game against them. I'm only afraid of them having a faster draw, and this hand can beat a fast draw.
Yeah, good point.
There we go. I knew they had stuff like this in their deck.
Yeah, we love to see those little spells we can 1-for-1 them with.
Yeah.
So let's just drop Underground Sea, and then do you just want to Blood Chief's Thirst it or Fatal Push it?
I think
Fatal
push, yeah. We saw Gideon.
And we don't have any ways to trigger the Revolt with fetch lands, so Blood Chief's Thirst is a little bit higher value. Or I guess Fatal Push is lower value than it would be in some decks, and Blood Chief's Thirst. Okay.
So we can just snuff this out. I thought it said non-artifact, but it actually doesn't. It's just non-black.
Yeah, so probably snuff out, pay 1 here, and then just throw it on Hex Drinker.
Yeah, that seems good. We're paying 5 life, but they're down to 3 cards. They also have this Mana Vault, which is low-key going to do a lot of work for us. It's just going to sit and play and hit them for like 6 this game, probably. And now Hex Drinker is totally a plan. Like, if they don't kill it this turn, we can put it to a 4/4 next turn. And then it's basically... Like, it's good. Wait, I thought I had protection from instants and sorceries at level 3. Maybe not.
I think just instants.
Still pretty good, though. The only removal we've seen so far is a Braid. And then even if they deal with this, we have a good hand, answers for their next couple threats. They only have 3 cards and 3 mana. Okay. So do we want to cycle Shark or probably just level up Hex Drinker, right?
I think I like leveling up.
There's a good chance they'd kill it, in which case that's a 1-for-1 and it's okay. Alright, does it go through? Or do they Braid? Okay,
right,
fair enough. They got us. It's a 1-for-1 though. It's not too bad.
Not bad at all. I mean, if they play a creature, we've got the Chupacabra. Gideon would be probably the scariest thing we saw out of them last game.
Yeah, but then that still just leaves them with a 2/2. They don't even have double white. Okay, Nahiri, that's totally fine. Nahiri's plus is one of the weakest out of all the Planeswalkers. It's fine. The reason to play that is for the -2, but in this situation, the -2 does nothing.
So pass back, make a 2/2 Shark, and then probably swing Nahiri. It'll put them back a couple turns. We don't have a great way to deal with it, so I guess we're kind of looking for that Maelstrom Pulse.
Wait, with the Nahiri?
Yeah.
We have Bloodchief's Thirst.
Oh, we probably should have just killed it on our
No,
turn.
I actually think I prefer to make the shark here to try and hit land drops and then kill it this turn. We do let them plus one more time, but they already have Faithless Looting in the graveyard. Yeah, I think we just make the shark here.
Sweet. And I just completely spaced and forgot that Bloodchief's Thirst could hit a Planeswalker.
Okay, Spell Pierce, not a bad one, but well, actually, Spell Pierce is a bad one because they have the mana vault, but still a really good position. I mean, who knows? They have 7 mana, so they might have something weird. We're well suited against creatures, and we have like the advantage on board. We can also cycle the Waterlogged Grove. So far, it's basically been a lot of 1-for-1s back and forth. Except that we have the shark, which is a 2-for-1, and our deck is just generally more suited for this style of game, I think. Okay, this is totally fine. So they actually are playing a lot of artifact mana. I'm a little confused by their deck. We haven't really seen the payoffs. They may have something, but so far I'm not too impressed or too afraid. Okay, sure.
Oh boy. So are we ever just playing the Chupacabra to kill the 2/1, put a little pressure on them?
I don't hate it, honestly. We could get burned if we just then have to Damnation and kill our own 2 things, but 4 power on board is actually a pretty quick clock, and when they're sort of scuffling, I don't love just giving them infinite draws.
Yeah, we also could have held back with a shark and traded it off for the 2/1 and then, sack the Grove to try to draw something. I don't know.
I think I like getting the pressure down. Alright, they're top decking. We have them dead in 4 swings. Hopefully we can find a little more
Did you crack
pressure.
this?
Yeah. It takes us off a double green. Oh, I was going to say, it's only if we draw Garruk that this gets...
Or the Sphinx. The Sphinx, it would also have stopped us from casting Sphinx.
True.
And draw land.
So, in hindsight, would have rather get the Garruk down to play Beast, but I think we're still in a very good position. Spell Pierce is unlikely to do anything, but they're just living off the top. They have no card selection. Good chance they just draw like a couple lands and die. Flying Shark right there. Oh, interesting. I think we just Spell Pierce.
Yeah, Spell Pierce, make them use 2.
Yeah. All right, this is a way they could get back into this. They tap the mana vault. Why would you do that?
I guess they need they're thinking they need their colored mana.
Yeah, I guess so. All right,
Oh,
good hand.
counterspell.
Yeah, there's no way we lose with this hand.
Yeah.
Counterspell into Time Walk.
And I've canceled our F6, even though we still have this little warning down here.
These things always freak me out. I don't get it. Like we'll be moving into the finals in the winners bracket.
Oof, I cannot wait to take down a trophy.
See, we could be pretty judicious about what we counter here.
Yeah, we definitely we can be pretty discerning.
Okay.
Gideon, that's
I think that is worth countering.
yeah.
Like just a creature, I don't think is necessary, but something that makes creatures every turn is a little bit scarier. And then now they also only have 3 mana left. Okay, yeah. So we can't kill them on board, but we can probably between Chart of Course, like we should be able to find something. Nice.
Sweet. So we can play Scarab God plus Time Walk.
Yeah, that seems like that's got to be the line. Let's just swing first, though. Do we offer the Chupacabra trade?
I think we do. They
Yeah.
might not take it if they don't see the Time Walk. They might allow the 2 damage through.
And then even if actually they're just dead either way because they're at okay, yeah. I mean they're dead many times over. Time Walk first. They can't have Daze or Force of Will or anything. They could have Solitude, I guess. All right. Very smooth start. We're yet to drop a game. We'll see you in the finals. All right, here we are for the finals, fighting for that trophy against Eric Sensei. We'll show you who the Sensei is. You get to be on the play. Always a good start.
Yeah,
It looks great.
So, Witherbloom Command, what does it do?
It's better when you have fetch lands. It kills a small non-creature permanent or a small creature. Sometimes both. Typically, you want to mill yourself. So, like, we could just kill this and mill ourselves for 3, and then we're pretty likely to hit a land. That's probably what we should do here. We could save it, but I think we just go for it. And then in 3 looks, we're like, I don't know the exact odds, but probably like over 75% to hit. So we target ourselves with a mill, and then the Elvish Mystic with a -3/-1. Nice, we hit the swamp. Clean 2 for 1. Has that card persuaded you it's good?
That is pretty clean. That'll make it easier for us to sacrifice that Nurturing Peatland late game, convert that into a card. So
Yeah, true.
looks great to me.
Filling the graveyard can be relevant. Not really in our deck, but just like it can dig you towards Uro and stuff like that in some situations.
Right, yeah, and if we'd ended up playing Kroxa, that would have been a way for us to use our graveyard.
Yeah, true. All right, so red-green.
Probably cycle Shark Typhoon on 4 if we don't draw anything else.
Yeah. They could play Minsc and Boo here. Leovold is okay against Minsc and Boo, but it's not the best.
So what do you think? Minsc and Boo, Teferi, Dak Faden, are those the best Planeswalkers?
I think Oko is also
Oko.
in there. But yeah, I think those are the top dogs, in my opinion.
Sweet.
Okay, interesting situation here. Highest upside play is to play Garruk and minus, and if they don't have removal, we're in great shape.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like playing Garruk and minusing, especially because it stops the Huntmaster from flipping, which is kind of
that's a
relevant.
good point.
And then,
Although, actually, the Huntmaster would draw us the cards if they flip.
oh, interesting.
I don't think... Do they have to target us? Let's see. 2 damage to target opponent or Planeswalker. So, it would draw us at least 1 card. But it would also kind of pressure us, because then we go to 18, they can hit us for 4 at least.
And if they have a removal to deal with our Beast or Leovold, then we're gonna get to draw a card off of that.
Yeah, like, I guess the worst case scenario is they bolt Leovold, and then we still get to eat one of their creatures with the Beast. Yeah, I think we just played the Garruk.
It seemed like our hand is good. It seems like I think we kind of just want to play for a longer game. We don't need to get max value out of every card, I don't think. At this stage.
I'd rather get max value out of our mana.
Exactly. Now we got a turn 5 Shark Typhoon, possibly turn 6 Consecrated Sphinx, although
Or even turn 5. We could untap the island Garruk if they don't kill it.
Great point, yeah.
This is sort of a key turn. If they don't do something relevant this turn, I think we'll be not insurmountably ahead, but in a really, really good position. But the shields are down. They have 5 mana. There's a lot they could do here.
And if they do nothing, they flip the Huntmaster, kill Garruk.
That's true, but we get to draw at least 1 card off of that.
Yeah.
Okay, looks like they are going for this line. No, we draw 2 cards. No, just 1. If they do it properly. But that's still pretty good value out of the Garruk. It's drawing us a card, making a beast, soaking up some damage, and making them have to sort of contort their game plan around it.
How is our opponent ahead of
Interesting.
us? Oh, okay.
Okay. So we'll draw a card first, no counterspell. Okay, that's solid for the opponent.
Yeah, nice line too.
Yeah, they found a good line.
Bolt on our turn. Still flips Huntmaster.
I think we just play or Cycle Shark.
Yeah. I guess we'll have to see what we draw for our turn, but...
Oh, that sucks. We don't have double blue, yeah.
Alright, well, I think we're just cycling the Shark Typhoon.
Yeah. It's a 3/3, so it can't tangle with the Huntmaster on its own, but we could go for the double block. Do you think we'd do that?
It's not unreasonable, I would say. But I think I'm okay to take 4, especially since like we do have counterspell, so that like, if we take 4 and then the turn after we go for a block, but we've got protection. Oh boy.
Okay, this is gonna kill our beast, but then they're gonna swing with both. We can eat the wolf token.
I do wish we had counterspell up.
Yes, me too. All right, so if we find a blue source,
We're not in terrible shape.
yeah, we could also just find like a ravenous chupacabra or something. Shriekmaw Island. All right, that's solidly in the middle of the pack. Ooh,
That's probably better. And then we hold up counterspell, kill the 7/6,
yeah.
and then we've got blocks on the 4/4.
So they can't really attack. We do need to find a way to kill this Huntmaster eventually, but I think we're ahead here.
Yeah, and if he does nothing and just passes back to me, it seems like maybe we just throw down Signet plus Peatland, and then we just hold up counterspell.
Yeah,
Is that reasonable?
yeah, I think that's reasonable here.
Well,
We only have 2 cards in hand.
Yeah, hasn't missed a land drop yet, so he could.
Just have more mana.
All right, I think we're countering that.
Yeah, that's Grave Titan. Alright, then they don't have any attack. They pass back. We get to Gem Sphinx. We have the mana to play a Signet into Sphinx, but we don't want to flip the Huntmaster, so I think we just play Sphinx on its own.
Yeah.
And then do we hit them with a Shark?
Good question. I think we probably just chill.
I agree. The scary thing here is Zealous Conscript or something like that. And now with these cards, we should be able to be in a much better position to attack soon. Should we play Echo and draw 21? Unfortunately, Leavold's gone, so we might not be able to pull off the Echo Beyond, which means that pick was maybe unnecessarily greedy, but we are also undefeated, so it can't have been that bad.
Can't have been too bad. We are very results-based players around here.
Yep. They have a Garrick of their own, not too problematic. We can kill that in the air.
Yep, not too scary.
And their last card, so they are going to get to flip their Huntmaster. That's not that relevant. Yes, we protected our Signet. They get, just like gaining 2 life and making 2/2s is just small ball compared to what we have going on over here.
Yeah, drawing 2 cards every time your opponent draws a card. Super awesome. Okay, sweet. So I think we probably just send the Shark, kill Garrick.
And just don't attack with Sphinx.
Yeah, chill Sphinx.
And then do we want to play Charticourse or Golgari Signet?
Well, we can play both of them now since the Huntmaster
Oh,
flips.
right. We can even play the Stowaway too.
Yeah.
Let's start with the course.
Okay, and then probably just stow away.
I think we just play everything. Then
Yeah.
land Signet into Kadama's Reach. It means we don't have Spell Pierce up if we top deck it, but we don't have enough counter magic for that to be super relevant. We also don't even have that many basics left in our deck, so we can Kadama's Reach while we still can.
Yeah. Boom. Let's put Island out onto the field.
Alright. And then pass, we have pretty good blocks. They can hit us for some if they want, but eventually we'll find the Scarab God, make a Leavold, play Echo, and win. Wow, we drew 2 of our remaining 3 lands. Okay, Scavenger Goose is kind of a problem. That can grow pretty big. See, they have 3 creatures in the yard. We have just 1, so it can grow 4 times and be a 6/6.
So do we have any... Are we afraid of drawing cards at this point? Or...
I think we can... No, I think we can Echo Beyond if we really need to, but it sucks. The Scavenger Goose is actually really good here.
It's super good. I mean, it seems like we should draw off the Peatland.
We might as well hit with a Stowaway first.
But wouldn't we... We can cast anything in our deck, and if we draw...
I guess, yeah, well, we can draw first. I think we'll probably just end up doing both.
Yeah, agreed.
Come on.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah. All right. Now let's hit with Stowaway.
Yeah.
Leave everything else back. Straight up 6 lands in hand here on turn 9.
Mm-hmm. And I guess like him drawing that ooze does make me wish we had put a little more pressure on him. Okay, that's great.
So let's just kill the ooze. They can kill some things, but it's fine. What we don't want is to make like the way we break this stalemate. We're drawing card to turn, so we're fine in terms of the board, but we need to make sure we can win before we mill ourselves. And the Scarab God is our way to do that. But Scavenging Ooze stops that. So now like Leavold's gone, but we can just like make a Kogla and make a Toddler's Huntmaster and win there. One thing that's weird, so if you make a token that's a copy of a card that flips, like Suspicious Stowaway and Toddler's Huntmaster, the game can just break sometimes. Like I've had games that like the client shuts down because like this is supposed to flip, but it can't. It's some weird loop. So we should actually really try to avoid that if possible.
That is a fun bug to be aware of.
Do you think we crack this main phase? I guess you don't think we do.
Oh, we probably should have.
No, honestly, having a lot of mana is pretty good if we are drawing towards the Scarab. Oh, Hexdrinker, nice. That's a way to break the tie as well.
Nice, yeah, great point.
Pretty much it's just like Craterhoof Behemoth here. That is terrible. The fact that Sphinx is drawing as these cards and also being the biggest creature on the board is kind of awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think we cracked the Horizon Canopy. We just won all our lands. It's fine. They can kill the werewolf. Our life turtle is still pretty healthy. Okay, I think it's worth to... Well...
It seems like we want to get the Hexdrinker down and make it, like,
as big as possible, yeah.
That should be our first order of business. And then we could honestly just evoke the Shriekmaw. Like, it'd be nice to have it out there.
Let's see. I kind of don't agree. Like, we could evoke it, but it's not doing that much right now. Wait, you have to click on the yeah. The Huntmaster's not doing that much this turn, and this is a game where we could run out of resources. Like, we can right now, but if they have a way to somehow deal with the Scarab God effectively, or if it's just, like, at the bottom of our deck, we might need to have all hands on deck to actually deal 26 damage.
Yeah, that's true.
We can, and then we should play Island to hold up Spell Pierce. Very unlikely to matter, but they could play Green Sun Zenith or something.
Yeah. Do we want to swing with... I feel like we might want to hit with the Sphinx here.
Yeah, I think I like that. So now, and then with the Sphinx hitting in, we can hit them for 10 damage a turn. Actually, we can hit them for 13 damage a turn that they can't block. Of course, we don't want to just like put our shields totally down on the backswing.
Draw 2?
Yeah, I think this is probably the last time we can afford to do that, but I think we do one more time. Okay, and now we're just like massively ahead. We can kill 2 of their things, hold up Snuff Out plus Spell Pierce. So now we're at the point where there's like a very small number of possible draws they could have, so let's just try to systematically eliminate them. Craterhoof Behemoth is a problem, so we kill their board so that it's not too big. Batterskull.
Can't do anything about this.
Yeah, I know Spell Pierce doesn't work, but it's fine. Actually, it could be a problem. I guess Hexdrinker can always block it. Tap. I think we're just keeping the canopy in play.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a great draw. Can we? So let's kill the Huntmaster so it doesn't flip.
Sure. Let's just get our Time Walk resolved first, if that's alright with you.
All right. Yeah. Sure.
And then we just play Shriekmaw, kill the Ravager of the Fells, and then it seems like we swing for 13, and then we just swing for another 13, and we win.
Yep. Nice.
So
all right.
We have Spell Pierce backup. He has 1 card in hand.
We have 8 cards in hand.
Not much that can be done. Love to see it.
This game really showcases the power of Consecrated Sphinx if left unanswered. All right. So up a game in the finals. Good place to be.
Creature deck, so maybe Fatal Push plus Damnation.
Yep, I agree. And then do we want Oath?
That's a good question. I mean, I think it feels like we might need to shuffle around our creatures slightly in that case.
Yeah, probably cuts the Stowaway. All the rest are actually kind of good to hit off of Oath. I guess Hexdrinker is the other one that we could cut.
Yeah. And then, so if we were to bring in Oath, we'd probably want to cut Hexdrinker. And is Hexdrinker good against him normally? Like, it was great there.
They do have red removal, like bolts and stuff, and Hexdrinker is kind of weak to bolt, and nothing else in our deck is that weak to it. I guess the question is, how much are we worried about running out of win conditions? I think it's not that much of a problem.
Maybe
that game...
No Echo, maybe?
Well, Echo was good with the Oaths.
Oh,
Like, if you
right.
Oath into Leovold and put Echo in the graveyard, that gives you some outs. We could still cut it. Because, I mean, it is... Giving them 7 cards is almost never going to be the move. So we would basically only want to Echo if we have Oath in play. Or if we have Leovold in play. I think that's reasonable, though. Cut Echo and Hexdrinker and just play Oath. Because they don't have any ways to exile the Scarab God other than Scavenging Ooze. So... That can be a win condition. That's probably enough to win on its own. So this is one way to build it. I think this seems pretty good. Oath is like, this isn't the best Oath deck. We're not cheating in like Emrakul or something. But it's just fine as a value play. They're almost always going to have at least one creature. So Oath will just like, flip a Scarab God or something. And that's pretty good value. It does mill us. So we need to make sure we don't run ourselves out of win conditions. It's very weird wording on this, but... Yeah, just whoever has less creatures gets a creature every turn. We'll run like this.
If they want. It's
if they want, yeah. That's very relevant because we'll say no if we're too low on cards in our library.
All right, and let's show Eric who the real sensei is. So probably just lead on Island, unless something crazy happens and we want to play the Shriekmaw.
Yep. I think we basically mulligan any hand that doesn't have a way to kill a creature, but we have that nice removal spell in our hand. And I think this is a matchup where Horizon Canopy is better than Forest. We didn't end up cracking it last game, but it's good to have that option.
All set on lands. Wouldn't hate, I guess, a swamp so we can cast our Chupacabra, but aside from that, we are good.
Yes. I think we just let that resolve.
Yeah.
They could just start swinging with the Ravenous or the Raging Ravine, which is actually good here. Mm-hmm. They don't know that we don't have an answer. Like we could have a Fatal Push or something, which really blows that out. But there's a world where they win this game just off the back of the Raging Ravine, which would kind of suck.
That would be so outrageous. I think we counter this. Well, we can answer with the Shriekmaw, but
they get a chance of getting one free card off of it. I think the discipline play is to let it resolve, though.
Yeah, and then we evoke the Shriekmaw.
Yeah.
Cool.
I hate giving the opponent value, but yeah, that's just like a much harder thing to deal with if we don't counter it.
True. They did get 1 life, so.
Disaster.
Value town. Probably Swamp.
Yeah, I like that plan. Swamp, Shriekmaw. And, I mean, that's our first spell of the game, but that's fine. The pressure is totally on them to be fast. Like, the deck with lands and Consecrated Sphinx wins the long game.
We are quite open to that Raging Ravine, but,
we can handle like 2 or 3 hits without a problem. I guess.
Play the Sphinx.
Yeah.
It's a lot worse since they didn't do it last turn.
Karn, nice. Yeah, let's counter that. We could kill it with the Bloodchief's Thirst, but that actually gets them a card. And now hopefully we can find a play for this turn. Underground Sea, fair enough.
We don't have any double green, right? So we can just.
We have Garruk.
Garruk, so I guess we should.
But I think we'd play Sphinx next turn either way, so let's just save the life. Alright, so. I mean, they do have a lot of 6-drops that we've seen. Like Kogla killing Sphinx. Actually, Kogla is good against Sphinx.
Yeah.
We still get 2 cards out of the deal. Now we actually want them to hit with Raging Ravine. Yeah, this is not as bad as it would be if they resolved some sort of problematic threat. I think we just jam the Sphinx. If we only get 2 cards out of it, that's probably fine.
Yeah, agreed.
Now there is a real argument for playing one of these other lands. Oh, there's our Enter the Raging Ravine.
Oh, sorry, I should have played one of the other ones probably, just so if we drew Garruk, we'd have that option, but...
Yeah, but the 1 life honestly could be relevant. If they don't have Kogla here, then the game just ends. If they do have Kogla, we're still okay. Yeah, we'll have a full 7 cards starting on our turn. There's an Oath, okay. Oath is not lining up well in this game, but I think that's fine. The thing with Oath is it's bad when your opponent is not doing anything, but I don't really build my game plan around that anyways.
So, I think we just take this.
Yeah, I think 11 is fine. And it's pretty likely they have a Braid or a Bolt.
Yeah.
And we have the answer to the Fatal Push, with the Fatal Push. We can actually play it because of the Signet, though.
Hilarious.
Funny. So yeah, probably Grove, Signet, Garrick. And we're not gonna play that Oath here.
Yeah.
All right, do we want to make a beast or untap? Probably just make a beast.
Probably, yeah, I think just make a beast. And then in a bad case scenario where, he wastelands our underground sea, we have a chump blocker. And
Yeah, we should have left up 2 black, but
We
that's
should've.
not that relevant. We haven't seen Wasteland yet.
I was thinking bluffing a counterspell,
Yeah.
but given his position, I think he is not able to play around counterspells at this stage in the game, so I don't think it was relevant to bluff that. I guess here's the Abrade.
Yeah, I think you're right. We also haven't seen Wasteland, though.
True.
All right, we get 2 more cards. All right, we're very well insulated against anything other than, like, strange, like, mega burn spell type stuff.
Wow, so if he had done his Raging Ravine, 1 turn or 2 turns earlier? 2 turns earlier, we would have been, like, if he'd gotten 2 extra turns in, we would have been under a lot more pressure.
Yeah, definitely. Of course, he didn't know that we didn't have removal at that time, but it's one of those games where if different decisions were made, the results could be very different. But given the current set of decisions, we're looking good. Do you think there's any argument to killing the Gruul Signet here?
Interesting. So it keeps him on 6. What would be... Do you think we want to draw with Waterlogged Grave?
Yeah, that's probably the right line to start. It's a real bummer that we don't have another... If we had a counterspell in hand, the game would be 100% over. Okay, Lots of card draw.
Send in the Sphinx.
Yeah.
I kind of think we just hold the Maelstrom Pulse.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. So let's play the chart. We're going to be discarding hand size soon, I think, which is a good place to be, honestly. We have no forests. Hilarious. That's fine.
Guess we play the Peatland. I don't know. Maybe the other one's better, but...
And then, oh wait, we could play Garrick or Vraska and kill the Signet. I think that's probably the line. We could also plus the Vraska and try and get to the ultimate, but I think I'd rather just keep their resources down.
Yeah, I think I agree with that.
Like, one thing that they could kill us here is that X burn spell. I forget what it's called, but Rolling Earthquake or something.
Yeah, yep.
Okay, there's a forest, but we're not going to be shocking. Hovlar's Huntmaster. All right, we have a good answer to that. We have multiple good answers to it, actually. We could Maelstrom Pulse the tokens if we care.
Yeah. I mean, I think we Chupacabra the Huntmaster.
Yeah. I think we just hold the Pulse. We won't have an answer to Scavenging Ooze.
And then, are we untapping lands with Garrick? I guess.
Yeah. Well, wait. Well, technically, I think we should play Breeding Pool tapped.
Yep.
And then put the Utopia Sprawl on it, and then untap it.
Tap this.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter. But I think technically that is probably the play to represent the most things. And let's do green, actually. We're most constrained on green mana. We don't have that many double green things, but like we also might sacrifice both of our Canopy and Peatland. And then we just plus Vraska and do nothing with it. We could sack a land, but I honestly don't think we do. Or you want to sack the Signet?
I mean, I'd sack the Signet.
Sure.
Or maybe a Swamp.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think we do Island. We have so much blue.
All right. I think it doesn't matter on any of them. Oh, that's why you do it main phase. So let's, play that, and then we can hit them for 4 in the air. Oh, wait, can we... I think we might be able to kill them now. So if we kill the 2 things, we hit them for 7. Yeah, that's just lethal. All right, nice. That's why you sack your thing main phase. You paid a life unnecessarily, but I forgive you.
Yeah.
So hit them for 7. Time Walk is pretty good for swinging the combat math in your favor. All right.
Oh.
Clean trophy. Let's pull up the deck list.
Excellent.
You want to just click down there? Oh, yeah. And then view your previous deck. There.
Sweet.
All right, so this was our Sultai mid-range deck, and we did not lose a single game. So based on result, it was tied for the best deck ever created. In reality, I do think it was quite strong. We had pretty good card draw. Consecrated Sphinx is just like ultimate power card draw. But then we had like Charter Course, Suspicious Stowaway, Leovold to turn through the deck a little bit. Good acceleration with the Sprawl, the Signet, and the Kadam's Reach. And then really what made this deck, I think, was the just excellent creature removal. We were pretty much always able to find a way to kill a key creature, whether that was like Huntmaster or Tavlar's Huntmaster. They had 2 Huntmasters. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
It also had some power level in Mox Emerald and Time Walk. We were a bit light on counter magic, so that could have been a problem if we played against more control or combo. Just having Spell Pierce and Counterspell isn't great. And also the mana fixing was kind of sketchy. We got a little lucky that wasn't more of a problem, but with no fetch lands, like we were playing 9 basics in the deck with no fetch lands, and like Horizon Canopy was basically a 10th basic. So definitely got a little bit lucky there, but we did also build with that in mind. We made concessions like cutting the Hymn to Torok. Definitely pretty sweet. What are your thoughts, Greg?
I had fun.
Nice. All right, the most important thing. I did too, and it made it even more fun that we got the trophy.
It was an absolute pleasure playing with you, Ben, and I look forward to more leagues together.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.